Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be listening to this. Hello, and welcome. So, it looks like I've been making a bit of a habit to publish these holiday episodes. I guess that's what we should officially be calling them. Because right now, I'm 2 for 2, and things are looking good. A whole, 5 days before Christmas, 2016. How are ya? How you doing? Are you pulling your hair out like I am because you can't wait for this year to be over with and all the craziness to end? Well, you're not alone. No, you are not. Today, we are going to take a moment and, probably do the same thing we're doing before. Maybe you're not going insane. Maybe you're doing just fine. Maybe you had a great year, and if you are, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Me, I'm kind of just thankful that I still have 2 good legs to walk on and a beautiful, beautiful baritone to serenade you wonderful, wonderful people with. Maybe I'm more of like an alto. Well, beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, we're just going to take a look and talk about what happened this week, some things coming down the line, remember some good people. So if you want to spend the next 20 minutes or so celebrating with me, you're in the right place. This is People's Freeway. Hard to come up with witty banter before you get into the intro. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to People's Freeway, the Slug Life podcast focusing on subculture, SLC. My name is Mike, and today in the kitchen, it's just me again. No, there's a better way to do this. Hold on a second. It's just me and you. I mean, hey, how are ya? No, right? That's not gonna... Okay, fine. That's cool. Is everybody properly awkward now? Awesome. Yeah, apparently, with less than a week before Christmas, it is ridiculously hard to find people who want to come to your residence and record an unpopular yet whimsical podcast of some sort. So there you go. It's just going to be me and you, my dear listeners, all 1.5 of you. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Things just continually ramp up when it comes to the holidays. I think that the closer that you get to these big parts of the year, it just gets crazier and crazier, doesn't it? I mean, like everything, it's like there's a permanent full moon out in the sky, and people are just driving weirdly and spending weirdly and talking weirdly and all this other stuff. But I say keep it coming, man. It keeps things interesting at the very least. So we're not gonna spend too much time together, unfortunately, my lovely audience. Because without an interview, I just like giving you guys an update in regards to what's going on with the show and all that other good stuff. So here's what's happening. I still have yet to find a worthy adversary when it comes to checking out the Christmas contest, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Last week, when I was playing that ridiculous piece of music spliced in with ridiculous cuts of that movie, that happens to be a holiday tradition with my family. It's something I watch, or we watch, every Christmas. I have yet to get any emails at peoplesfreeway, all one word, at gmail.com for anybody who knows it. So I thought I'd give you guys a little clue in regards to that. So go back, take an additional 20 minutes out of your already busy schedule and listen to that episode. It was last week's episode number 10. And the movie in question starred Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey, one of the best actors in the entire world. House of Cards, all that other good stuff. That's one clue. And as we keep going on, I mean, this thing is just burning a hole in my pocket, so I'm going to send it out to whoever gets back to me. Email me. First person to do it will get this gift. I'm not going to say what it is. It's going to be a surprise. I will say they have to be 21 or older to receive it, so keep that in mind. I don't know. Of the 6 people that might be listening, I doubt any of you are, under 18 years of age. And that's a good thing, because nope. I was thinking about it. Didn't work out. I went for it, and I'm just making it worse. I mean, it can't. Stop it. Okay. Anyway, so there's that. Also, we did a little exploring. The entire part of this podcast was for me to venture out into Salt Lake, because I know jack shit about living here. Luckily though, over the past 10, 15 weeks or so since I started this whole thing, I have learned a lot more about it, and it continued last week with my newly announced segment, Getting Sneaky with City Weekly and Mike.
Show me what you got.
That's right. See, I made a promise to you guys, and now I'm keeping it. So, this is the first... Hitting the mic stand. All right. This is the first official entry into... God, I'm saying a lot. I'm so sorry. It's a good thing I'm not farting into the microphone, of course. God only knows. It is the holidays. Anyway, the first entry that we have for Getting Sneaky is going to be for 2 award placeholders in the City Weekly's Best of Salt Lake City in 2016. The first being the Best Inexpensive Trove of Unique and Inexpensive Clothing, which went to, this year, the Uptown Cheapskate in Sugar House, which is around 21st South and 13th East. And I am telling you guys right now, if you have not been to this location or any of the other Uptown Cheapskates, this is not an ad, okay? I'm not getting money from these people at all. They didn't even know I was in the store. Holy shit, you guys. Oh my God. There's okay, well, first, wait a minute. We have to clarify something very clearly. Clarify something very clearly? Jesus. We have to clarify something. So I know that everybody who might be listening to this on the internet may not necessarily be living in Salt Lake City. I am telling you this right now. When it comes to the trade-in, gently used, thrift store game, Salt Lake City is killing it, and your town is not. This is Salt Lake City. Godzilla on a rampage. This is your town.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So I have lived on both sides of this continent. And of course, I can't always, buy Donna Karen or whatever whenever I want, because it's too goddamn expensive. However, here in Salt Lake, it's completely different. This place is festooned, is that a word? With really just awesome places where you can get secondhand clothing that's still very, very affordable and very, very good condition. And the Uptown Cheapskate is one of these places. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It wasn't perfect. I'm a pretty heavy-set dude. I'm running 6 foot, 2 bills and change. So when it comes to coming to this place, I wasn't able to find a lot when it came to jeans, pants, shoes, that kind of thing. But oh my God, you guys! Oh my God! When it came to T-shirts and business shirts and jackets and hats and all that other stuff, holy cow! Creme de la creme. I mean, there's there are these. I mean, it's definitely Christmas present potential. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I'd like to get myself a new pea coat or something along those lines, something fancy, I guess. Some of this stuff was over 50% off compared to where you would buy it new. And all of it looked like it was new. I mean, they're very strenuous when it comes to, what they're going to put on the rack, what they're not. So go to this place. Give them your business. It's one of many locations. I went to the Sugar House one. you're not going to be sorry as long as you understand the expectation. If like, you're a medium set man, again, I don't look at the ladies section, although, I was tempted. God, that sounds creepy. Anyway, I was only looking for like, guys stuff. And like I mentioned before, keep in mind, I'm bigger than average. The proper term is more overweight than average, but I was still able to find some kick-ass shit. Secondly, that we're going to do for the segment is best place to pig out, and this one was easy because this one happens to be some place that I've been before, and it's the Lucky 13, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Salt Lake City bistro / biker bar / hamburger joint. Now, let's get something very clear. When it comes to meat art, especially when it comes to burgers and that kind of thing, your pal Mike happens to be, I think it would be safe to call me an expert. Yeah, I don't want to brag or anything, but when it comes to putting a large piece of meat in my mouth, when it comes to eating a condensed piece of beef for lunch, quality is definitely something that I look out for. I've eaten at a lot of places, okay, that claim to have that claim to know what they're doing when it comes to burgers. And by far, one of the ones that really stand out in my life, which is no longer there anymore, unfortunately, I believe, is Bonnie's in Brooklyn. Now, if you guys haven't been to New York, I'm not going to get all, hoity-toity and whatever. Me being from that area doesn't mean jack shit, because there's lots of quality stuff here in Salt Lake, especially in the realms of food. I'm telling you right now, Bonnie's in Brooklyn is world-renowned. Lucky 13 is also world-renowned, and it comes well-deserved because it's crazy how good this food is. I have a couple of friends that they one of the reasons as to why they came to America was to taste the food. Also was to, get a decent education, of course. But, Une, Yanni, if you guys are listening, one's from Israel, one's from Sweden. Not important. I have friends in lots of places. It's kind of my thing. No, that's ridiculous. I'm already talking too much. I'm telling you about right now, if you happen to live in Utah, not even in the Salt Lake City area, if you happen to live in Utah County, in Ogden, in Logan, or someplace even farther north or south than where I'm at or whatever, go to this place. They're not paying me. I just eat there a lot because it's good food. They have a lot of variety when it comes to, what they cook, and, the garlic fries are awesome. So there you go. Again, this is not paid anything. I'm nowhere near famous enough for this podcast is just something I do for fun. So no one's paying me for anything. This is just my honest opinion. So there you go. Now we're going to bring it down a little bit in regards to the holidays. And I hate to do this because usually I like to just talk about the cool things going on with the city and the cool things going on with my life in regards to it's an outlet. Honestly, it's a chance for me to remain creative and do something fun, something that's going to hopefully get people interested in finding out more about where they live. Most of the people who live in Salt Lake are in the same boat as I am, or in other towns that are in the same boat as I am that don't know that there might be cool stuff going down and cool places to meet people and there's cool things to do. But I would feel bad if I didn't take a moment to just say a couple things about what's happened this past week. Not anything really super personal, but like I said in the Thanksgiving show, this is the time of the year I think when a lot of people reflect, and this is definitely one of those opportunities. And if I have 2 or 3 extra people that happen to be listening to this, and it helps you through my experience that I'm going to talk to you guys about, then all the better, because it'll hopefully inspire you, whoever you are, to just take a second and just reflect on where your life is at, and hopefully be thankful for the things that you should be thankful for. But anyway. Let's jump right into it. A lot of you might not know this, But a lot of my friends and the people who I have been able to con into listening to this podcast do know that for a very long time, I've had the great privilege of being able to study martial arts for a long time. And I'm not Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris or anything like that. I think at this point in my mastery of the arts, I could probably take on a very drunk old blind man. Then I would feel pretty confident in regards to, I'd have to be sober, of course. It would have to be, they'd have to be having a really rough night, and I'd have to just be walking into the bar and, whatever. But hopefully more than that. But the bottom line is that I've been doing it for a long time, and one of the most incredible things about being part of that community is being able to meet really, just great people, like the salt of the earth, the people that don't want anything more but to just go through their day by day and, be good and not be bothered. So I've had the great privilege of meeting lots of people who just do that. And one of the people that, I never knew very well, but had a huge impact on the martial arts community here in Utah, and very, very more specifically in the region of Salt Lake that I train in, Sugar House. His name was Paul Sizemore. Paul was he was a fighter in the cage. He specialized in kickboxing, MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but just as important was the fact that he was also a teacher. And again, I didn't know him very well. We weren't friends or anything like that, but I knew him by reputation, and I had the great privilege of being able to study a couple things that he taught our Krav Maga school. That's the fighting style that I'm studying right now, with a really great organization, has a really great teacher. I'm not sure if if anybody wants me to say their name over the podcast, so I'm going to remain moot on that point. But quick tangent. If you guys want to check out Krav Maga Salt Lake City, Contact Combat. There's a website, check that out. But anyway, going back to it, Paul was kind enough to teach a clinic to our school, and it was great. I would see him regularly in the gym that I train at because the gym was multifaceted. You could do everything from Muay Thai to weightlifting to Krav Maga, and he always came off as just a really great guy, a really well-balanced individual, and somebody who really knew how to throw down and do it in a way that didn't seem like he was trying to prove anything. He was a student of the game, and he was a master of the game in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, we lost him this month. And I don't want to go into details or anything, but unfortunately he did pass away. And what really kind of, I don't want to say the word impress, but for lack of that term, for lack of a better term, what really kind of hit me in regards to this whole situation with his passing was the aftermath of that. I'm no stranger to losing people, as I'm sure you probably aren't either. There have been deaths in my family. There have been, I've lost friends, and it just is something that happens when you get older. The problem with Paul was that it was pretty sudden. But what was really more of an impression in regards to this terrible situation was the aftermath. There is a picture on the Facebook profile of one of Paul's friends. It might be his fiance, who we'll get into in a moment, of his memorial service that took place last week. And it took place in the gym that we all trained at. And it was really humbling because it had just what looked like 100 people there just to celebrate this man's life, this teacher, this scholar, this fighter, the samurai, this man who, decided to dedicate himself towards an art form that was just practical, beautiful, brutal, but also, he committed himself to being a teacher as well. And I don't know, how hard you might be having it, or, some bad jobs that you've had. I mean, personally, I've had to dig ditches for a living on more than one occasion. But if you want a challenging job, oh man, become a martial arts instructor, okay? Because that has got to be one of the hardest things to be successful at. And I've been through a number of schools, and it's the same thing. And it's because martial arts isn't the same thing that it used to be back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's not as marketable. I mean, people can go through and they can train to become bad motherfuckers, but it's just one of those. It's one of those things where it isn't as marketable as it used to be. And if you want to be a success, which Paul was, you have to be really good, and he was. But anyway, back to what I was talking about before. What was really made a huge impression on me was that even though, unfortunately, this man wasn't in the room, he wasn't here anymore. He's still influencing people. He's still inspiring people. He's still, from a philosophical point of view, he's still teaching, And I think it says more than I'd ever be able to say in a humdrum podcast, the impact that this man had on the martial arts community that I happen to be a proud participant with him. And he was definitely a pillar. And regardless of the fact that I didn't know him very well, a lot of people did. And he's still affecting people in very positive ways. And that says a lot about somebody when, again, when they're not in the room, when they're not with you, in a physical sense, but they're still inspiring you. They're still teaching you. If you think about it in a certain point of view, they don't ever leave in that sense, I know it's melodramatic, and I don't want anybody who might have known Paul to think that, I'm coming from a place of anything but complete and total respect, because the fact that he's had such an impact on my teacher and on a classmate of mine who was his fiance, and all of the people that came to his memorial service and knew him by name and called him brother, you don't get that unless, first of all, unless you're a good person, and secondly, if you know what you're talking about. And Mr. Sizemore, he did that. He was real, and what he had worked. And the fact that he has hundreds of people that are going to mourn him, including myself in my own little way, speaks volumes to his character and to his ability as a martial artist and his ability as a teacher. So rest in love, Paul. You're, you will be missed, but you definitely will not be forgotten, sir. And also, I mean, keeping in that same kind of line of thought. And this goes back to like what I was talking about before with the Thanksgiving show, and also with this too. This is just a time to reflect when things like this happen. I mean, the holidays do that anyway. So when it comes to my teachers and the people that have been able to affect my life, and again, using the metaphor of not the metaphor, but I'm using the vessel of martial arts as a way to kind of like hit this point home. I want to say thank you. So, I mean, really, to the brothers and sisters, honestly, who have, bled, sweat, cried, shouted on the mat with me, to Kim, Robert, Irene, Paul, Jack, David, Mo, Henry, Matt, Semper Fi, just to a lot of people, to Master Felix Lugo of the Black Belt Fitness Center in Queens, to Shihan Mark Griffith, all of you. I mean, you taught me a lot, and you continue to teach me a lot. And I know some of you probably listen to us. So this whole month has been a reminder of, well, this whole quarter of the year has been a reminder of how lucky I really am. And I just want to take a second to say thank you. And, to the people who I'm training with now, I look forward to, the the blood, sweat, and tears that we're going to share together. Because that's what it's really about, making yourself better and doing what you can to impress upon the world what you're capable of and what you stand for. But anyway, I guess I'm going to leave it on that note, guys. I don't want to get too much of you down. I just want you to take a second to, just be solemn with me for a moment, because I know I'm not alone in this game. I know I'm not the only person who's been inspired by people, who's lost people, and who, regardless of that, continues to go forward and try and find his own strength. You're trying to find your own strength in your own place, and just as important and just as powerful as it is to be able to, throw a punch, it's just as important and powerful to be able to take one too. And life's gonna come up like that. You have to be able to absorb a lot and learn and grow. And hopefully, we'll be able to do that together. But if you have a minute, maybe do a Facebook message or tweet out or call somebody who's done that for you, somebody who's inspired you, somebody who's helped you along, somebody who's suffered with you, and just tell them thank you while you still can, and let them know that you appreciate the fact that for as long or as short as it might have been, your lives were intertwined, and that it means something. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Probably not going to do a show next week because, it's Christmas. Unless, of course, Santa Claus comes back to give me back the money he owes me. That would be fun. But it's a long story. But anyway, I really do appreciate the fact that you guys let me spout out a little bit and brought the mood down a little bit. But, when important stuff like that happens, it has to be addressed, and I really do appreciate your patience. So thank you. Thank you so very much for, sharing your holidays with me and allowing me to be a part of yours. But as always, this is People's Freeway. My name is Mike, reminding you to enjoy the ride. Thank you so very much for listening, and happy holidays, and we will see you next time. Peace!